Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So today I've got 6 tips to help you guys progress faster through the Curse City game mode, or Centrenos as some of you may know it. These are things that a lot of them you can start literally today, right now. You can bust out your second phone because you're a gangster and start playing on that while you're watching this video. But these are things that you can start almost right away. At least most of them are. So we'll start with the first one, the Great Hall, alright? These are stats that apply everywhere in the game. You want these stats for Curse City. Curse City is difficult content. You want stats anywhere that you can get them. But the way that you actually get these medals up here on the top right is by doing the Classic Arena. So you click on Classic Arena. If you actually want to see how much you're going to get per tier, you actually click on tiers. It's this little bronze kind of symbol right here. Here it's silver, and then here it's gold. But basically it's this symbol right here. It tells you how many medals you're going to get at your current tier in arena. So you can see me, I'm right here. I'm getting 4 gold medals per battle, right? And if you do need quite a bit of these, so you do want to be doing your arena as much as you can. This is a long-term goal. Finishing Curse City should be a very long-term goal for a lot of you guys.
One eternity later.
So you can see to get to level 10, it costs 1,000, and then you can see
900, 800, 700, 600.
And this is for every bonus. It doesn't change. Every bonus is going to cost the same amount. So you will need to do quite a bit of arena, and you would love to max this out for Curse City. This is something that even I'm still working on, but I neglected arena a lot in my first year and a half of the game.
Shame on you!
So I'm trying to make up for it, but I don't want you guys to make the same mistake. And if you're new to Raid or would like to start a second account, we've got a fantastic link down below that gives you a fantastic legendary champion. Guys, in the comments, tell the new guys how hard legendaries they get. They're difficult to get, especially when you're brand new. You'll be starting with Karato, Fox Hunter, fantastic damage dealer, as well as great CC, which is crowd control. He's got block active skills. He's got stun. The block active skills is an AoE, and the stun is single target, but it's 2 turns, which is really nice. So fantastic starting champion to boost your progress, as well as you do get some great epics as well. You get Fayne right here, who's fantastic in Clan Boss. We go to the High Elves, you get Vergis, who is fantastic. Probably, in my opinion, the best champion against the Scarab King. This guy right here, Vergis. And last but not least, probably the weakest of the bunch, but still a solid champion, solid support, is Romero. You get him as well. So if you'd like to get your hands on those champions, make sure you click the link down below. And I'll throw in tip number 2 as well while we're talking about arena, because actually they kind of go hand in hand. Tip number 2 is climb in arena as high as you can. Platinum is pretty unachievable for most players, if I'm being honest. I think it's like top 500. It's extremely difficult to get to platinum. But if you can, get yourself at least in a gold or even gold 5. You will anyway if you're actually doing tip number 1 and farming your bonuses. So you get 22% HP, 22% attack, and 22% defense everywhere in the game just for being in gold 5. Even if you just manage to make it to gold 1, 14% of HP, attack, and defense respectively everywhere in the game. More stats. I think you're starting to see a theme.
I'm beginning to see a pattern here.
More stats everywhere, but especially in Curse City is where you want them. Tip number 3, we're going to go back to the Great Hall, but nothing to do with this. Now we're clicking on area bonuses. So Curse City has its own section dedicated to area bonuses. So if you level these up, you get these bonuses in Curse City. And actually, after I finish a couple more things in Hydra, these are my next target. I want to work on Curse City. To me, Hydra is the most important. Curse City, second most important to do. That's why Hydra is the only one with the little gold thingy, because I really wanted that extra damage. But Curse City, these bonuses come in handy so much because a lot of the accuracy requirements for the higher stages are quite high. So if you have the Great Hall accuracy and the area bonus accuracy maxed out, additional 160 accuracy, which is quite a bit, as well as the speed, HP, you got resistance, crit damage, ignore defense, which is actually really nice because they don't have that in the affinity bonuses, or the speed. They don't have that one either. They've got defense and attack. All these, if you can max these out, are so strong for Curse City. Speed, in my opinion, is the first thing they should go with, and then accuracy next, just so you can actually land your debuffs. I think after that, ignore defense is quite nice because it applies to every champion, even ones who aren't damage dealers. They still ignore some defense. And then after that, it's kind of up to you. Resistance is probably my 4th choice, and then maybe HP, crit damage, defense, and attack. That's kind of my order. That's how I would do it, but you can do it however you'd like, just making a recommendation.
Whatever, hippie.
As well as for the affinity bonuses, probably should talk about that as well. You would like to do your accuracy first. That's what almost everybody recommends. And then resistance is my personal second choice, but kind of everybody just says go accuracy first. After that, it's kind of up to you. Although attack should be what you do last because it benefits the least amount of champions in the game. But yeah, work on your Curse City area bonuses. The way you actually get the medals for that, they look kind of similar to the ones from Classic Arena, but they are not the same thing. You get these guys up here from Live Arena, so it does have to be active. There are time slots for it. You click on tiers, you can see the exact same thing again. Tiers, it tells you how many medals you're getting. So even at low levels, you're gonna get 10, and up in the higher levels, where I'm at, I'm getting 55. Up in the highest tier, you get up to 70 per battle, which is quite a bit. These are a lot easier to level up than the affinity bonuses in the normal Great Hall, so that's pretty nice. As well as Live Arena can be a little daunting at first, but it's not as scary as it looks. Yes, occasionally you're going to come across a guy who's spent about $1 gazillion on his account, but in lower tiers, Plarium does everything they can to basically try and keep you at a 50% win rate as much as possible. So they'll throw lower level accounts at you or bots after you lose 3 battles in a row. So don't be too afraid of Live Arena. You might get demolished going into it at like the first little bit, but then Plarium is going to kind of figure out where you land. They have like sort of like a skill-based matchmaking system, and you will eventually start finding people at your level and getting about a 50% win rate, which is nice. You know, you win 1 battle, lose 1 battle, but at least you're making some progress on your area bonuses. Tip number 4 and 5 are going to go kind of hand in hand. So tip number 4 is just save all the epic champions you get from these shards. Save them all. Don't feed your epics, all right? Even the bad ones, save them, and I'm going to explain why, all right? But for the first tip is kind of just save all these epics. Look, I got tons of epics. Just save them. Empower them if you'd like, all right? Empowering them gives more stats. That's very nice. As well as in the reserve vault, tons of epics. Just save them. Don't feed your epics until you've done a few things, all right? So faction guardians is the number 5 tip. You go to your faction guardians. If you fill these up, look at all these stats you're getting. And these only apply to what they say at the top. So this only applies to epic banner lords, right? So all my epics in the banner lords faction are getting these additional stats, right? Same thing with legendaries. All my legendaries are getting plus 10% HP. My legendaries aren't getting the speed and defense and accuracy because that's only for the epics. Same thing with the rares. The rares get their own bonuses. There's no intermingling, and there's no intermingling either between factions. So this is for epic high elves. These are only applying to high elves, these bonuses. But save all your epic dupes so that you can fill these up. Filling these up should be your first priority before you start empowering epics. So you can see I had these full before I started empowering my guys. Definitely these are way more important to do before you start empowering your champions. But after you finish your faction guardians, then you can come through, empower champions, and you can start empowering some epics. The 6th and final tip is going to come from the Altar of Souls, right? It's these soul stones, it's these coins, it's all this stuff in here. So these mortal soul stones and these coins, I'll show you guys where they come from. If we go to dungeons, these silver coins come from the Iron Twins Fortress. You can see you also get some essence to buy blessings, but you get these coins from the Iron Twins. The higher stage you can hit, the better. And then you get the stones from Hydra. So we'll just click on Brutal, for example, drop info. 1 to 2 per chest. If your clan defeats the Hydra, you also get a second chest. So there's potential, if you defeat the Hydra, you can get anywhere from 2 to 4 stones, depending on how lucky you are.
Do you feel lucky, punk?
And that's just in Brutal, right? You get 3 keys. So if you're doing 3 different difficulties, you can get quite a bit of stones every single week. After you open these stones, you're going to get blessings. And you want to hold on to any blessings that you get for your epic champions. So you can sort right here. The purple is the epics. So you want to hold on to anything you get for epic champions other than the ones that are like duplicates. So I'll show you guys a duplicate right now. So this guy right here. You don't need to hold on to all 3 of these because I already have a 5-star for him. I'm good to sell the 4 and the 2-star. You can get rid of those. But always just kind of keep your highest possible for that champion. So I'll show you guys. We'll take a look at some champions. We'll see what kind of bonuses these blessings give you, all right? Let's start with a lower star. Okay, we'll start with a 2-star, all right? Show you guys the stats. We want to go actually to the blessing. This is the blessing heaven cast. So not only do you get the actual blessing itself, when you, even if you get a 1-star, you get the blessing, whatever the blessing does. So for example, at 1-star, this one gives you 0.5% damage per each buff. Nothing too crazy, but it helps out. But really what we're here for at these lower levels is this HP, this attack. You can see 3-star gives me an increase to the blessing and more stats. 4-star, more stats. 5-star, increase to the blessing and more stats. 6-star, big increase to the blessing and more stats. But even at 1-star, I'm getting 4,500 HP and the blessing itself. At 2-star, getting 600 attack. Like these stats are huge. Most people believe that the stats you get from blessings are better than what you get from empowerment, and that is the case. These blessings are more important than even empowering your champions, especially like a 6-star. Let's show you guys a 6-star, right? 6-star, if you get one of these, do not sell it.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare do that.
These are crazy. Look at all these stats. 5,500 HP, 600 attack, 450 defense, 30% crit damage, 60 resistance and accuracy respectively, and 10 speed. This is huge, not to mention the blessing itself. Every hit will ignore 8% of the target's defense, will ignore 1% defense for every 10 levels. Huge, guys, huge. These blessings, they make such a difference on your account, especially in Curse City on your champions that aren't maybe in your best gear because it's just some random epic that you need for Curse City. So you don't really want to throw on your best gear, if that makes sense. Like I'm not going to take, you know, my Arbiter's 400 plus speed gear and throw that onto a random epic champion champion. I'm just not going to do that, all right? I'll get my stats from other places in the game. But basically, all these tips kind of focus on stats. That's what you want to work on. That's going to help you get through Curse City. This area of the game takes so long to complete, so if you start working on these today right now, you will drastically speed up your progress. I'm going to throw you guys a little bonus tip for Curse City as well. Faction Wars. Even if you're brand new to the game, make sure you're doing your Faction Wars every day, especially the faction where your starter champion is, like the Sacred Order, Orcs, or the High Elves, especially those ones because you'll probably progress the most with your starting champion. But just make sure you're doing any faction crypt that opens up because of one resource that you really badly want to make your champion stronger. It's these guys right here. It's glyphs, baby. Even the 1 stars, an additional 1 speed across, you know, you can get it up to 6 pieces of gear can have speed. So your banner can have speed. Your boots, they have speed, but you can't put a speed glyph on boots because it's their main stat. So you could put a speed glyph on your banner, on your chest, on your glove, your weapon, your helmet, and your shield if they already have speed stats. But that can give you an additional 6 speed, which could be the difference between you going first or the enemy going first. Enemies in Curse City are quite fast, so make sure you're doing your faction wars just for the speed glyphs, but for all the glyphs, especially the speed glyphs, because going first is super important. Speed's the most powerful stat in this game, but resistance, accuracy, it can all be the difference maker. So just make sure that you're doing your faction wars as soon as you can. You don't have to hit the highest level, just start doing it. Even the low level glyphs will help you out. The high level glyphs, those will definitely help you out, but even the low ones, they can be enough to make or break a stage for you. So the sooner you start working on those and building a stockpile, the better. This is from years and years of playing. Now, I do use these on my champions, so they get used, but I have a nice stockpile for whenever I need it, and that's how I want you guys to be. Have a good stockpile so you can throw it on your Curse City champions and beat that content. And I'm going to show you guys a couple champions that are definitely worth taking to 66 star for Curse City. These are like the big Curse City carry champions. So we're going to go to Sylvan Watchers. The first 2 of them are right here. We've got Miss Rider Dothy. He is so good that a lot of people in the end game build 2 of him. I have 1, and I'm working on getting a second one going because he is that good. He is a debuffer as well as a good damage dealer. So he places decreased defense, which allows you to do a lot more damage. But he also self-buffs with increased attack and increased accuracy, which are 2 of the most important buffs for him. So he can do more damage and actually land his debuffs. And he also gets an extra turn, which is really nice. So you do this, increase your accuracy, increase your damage, and then you smack him with a decreased defense. If you land on everybody, you get an extra turn, which is super nice because then you go with the A1 and you also have a chance for an extra turn. Miss Rider Dothy is a hard carry for some of these stages in Curse City. Really good champion. And the next one we're talking about is not necessarily a hard carry, but he's really good. This guy, Duodan the Runic, he's kind of similar to Doom Priest, although his cleanse, it's not a 100%, it's a 60%, but it's on his A1, so even if he gets block active skills, he can still smack and maybe cleanse your team. It's not a guarantee, but it's more than likely to happen, and it's on all allies, so it's going to happen on some, not going to happen on others, as well as he has a really nice shield to keep your team alive, and also it's a hard-hitting attack as well. It hits good considering he's HP based, and then he also has this taunt, strengthen, and counterattack on himself, so he taunts the enemies, which forces them to attack him with single target skills. Unless if they have an AoE, they can just attack everybody. They kind of ignore the taunt, but if they have single target skills, they have to hit him. And then he counterattacks, which synergizes so well with his A1 because every time he counterattacks, he has a 60% chance when you book him to cleanse the debuff. So Duodan and Miss Rider Dothy, definitely if you took them to 60 already, or if you plan on taking them to 60, it is a fantastic decision. You will not regret it. They are so good in Curse City. Another one that I see popping up is Zargala. I do not have her 60 yet, but she's one of the ones I do want to take to 60. She is just a really good damage dealer. I see her a lot in the speed runs. She has a solid A1, has a 50% chance to place a weekend. If she kills someone on her A2, it'll instantly activate her crack armor skill, which is her A3. This hits really good and has a good chance of placing a decreased defense on all of the enemies. If we go look at Curse City, she is like the speedrunner for some of the hard mode stages. It's crazy. 2 Zargalas plus 4 Zargalas, beating it in 3 turns. That means Zargala is going in there and doing enough damage to beat the stage by one-shotting every single wave. Crazy work. You love to see it. So those are my 3 recommendations for 60s for Curse City. You don't have to 60 them right away, especially if you're a new player, but if you ever 60 them down the line for faction wars, or maybe somehow you 60 them on accident, don't worry, it was not a bad investment. They are fantastic in tons and tons of Curse City stages. So that's going to do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully this helps you out. hopefully you can find some time to get started working on this stuff today, because it is only going to help your account in the long run, help you get Carnage a little bit sooner. Carnage is the big reward from Curse City. We all want our free mythical, so hopefully you can start working towards that. I've been Grinch KD. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.